Good morning, everyone. Happy Wednesday. I hope everyone's off to a great start to their day. So today's actually going to be a packing video where I'm also going to, I guess, go backwards in time into, I guess, why I started into the hobby to begin with, which is going to be fun, I guess. We have about like 8 orders today, which is actually exciting. I didn't actually expect to see this many, but I went to school and all this stuff, and all of a sudden the notifications kept coming in, so now we're gonna do them. So we're gonna start one for Eric, which is actually an art set, so we're gonna be gambling because I actually don't have an on-hand one. So my Evolutions packs at the moment, like the ones that I'm selling on TCG Player and whatnot, are actually coming from these let me say they were like K something or another. We'll see the tins. I know that these are the ones because, yeah, K19. They're the ones that have like an Evolutions pack and something else I have a whole bunch of, so I'm most likely gonna have to put that to the side. But we're gonna gamble and hope that we pull them like straight out. Otherwise, there are the Jirachi GX boxes which have an Evolutions pack or 2. I think it's just 1 though. And then if that doesn't hit, as you can tell, we're going to be opening quite a bit of sealed product. Most likely, I don't know. So I guess if you just want to open stuff, that's cool. But then if it's not there, then we have one more resort, which is the Kanto Power Collections, and out of the 2, I might open the I like the Dragonite one. We'll see if we get that far, but it's either the Dragonite or the Mewtwo, but I like both. So we'll start opening, because, you know, we have to be sure we provide an art set, since that is what they purchased. Not individual packs, a literal art set. And I had art sets. Honestly, I didn't actually think I was selling full art sets anymore. So Froakie, you get a coin, which I have like a collection of coins up here. You guys can't see it. Sword and Shield, there we go. That's why I had Sword and Shield in here too. Sword and Shield, ooh. And look, I've got a Charizard pack for them. So, big boy's out. We found him. That's pretty cool. So, we got Charizard. And the little tin, which we'll put to the side. Usually I use them for like local Pokemon card sales. Because usually there's like a sale that I can do here and there during the winter. Which is when I collect all of my Elite Trainer boxes and all of my I don't know, what type of other boxes do I open? Well, I think it's mostly Elite Trainer boxes. Occasionally it's pins. But like these little guys will carry 50 cards, no problem. So they're good for like, you know, local family lots, especially during the holidays when people might be struggling for funds. And we got this, and we got lucky, because we got the Venusaur. So now we only need the Blastoise and the Raichu. Okay, so we've got this. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be awesome. Okay, we'll gamble it on the Ponyta tin next. Darn, I should have made sure. Well, actually, I don't remember. I think it's actually full set, yeah. Yeah. Darn. Oh well. So we start opening these. But yeah, and then I usually sell those for like $5 a piece. Or I usually during the winter I get all my bulk and I do like 500 cards for 30 bucks with like a bunch of ultra rare cards and whatnot. I did a specialty thing actually where I gathered, because you know you do all this bulk stuff, and we got Zawazenta. Honestly, we're on track to getting a full art set of Sword and Shield. And we got a Raichu! Oh geez, now it's like all the pressure to pull the Blastoise pack. So this is what we have so far. And there's the light. Oh, sorry, I'm blocking Venusaur. But we have those. And so now we just need to work getting our final pack. And then I don't have to worry about the evolutions. So we're gonna choose Grookey. Grookey is our go-to. So, but yeah, that's like a winter thing. What was I talking about originally? I went to school. I was saying something about school. I don't know. Although I did apparently stumble into getting an esports management minor that I wasn't actually planning on getting or necessarily working towards. Okay, so now we're getting doubles. So we have a Sword and Shield, Zamazenta pack. Oh darn. Okay, so this is where we're gonna start getting doubles, and I'm hoping that we can get that Blastoise one. So, ooh, but look at that. Oh, I guess they both have the error at the bottom. Do you see how this one's red line at the bottom is a little more noticeable? And it's like they got a front crimp on it too. Okay, well, we put that pack to the side because we don't need it for now. And let's chance on yeah, this is the only Yamper one I have left. Let's get the Cinderace. Oh my god, I don't remember the name of the first starter Pokemon. Darn. A little rough. But anyway, I stumbled my way into it. I had actually been taking, so it required 2 of the BA classes, business administration classes, which I've been taking, because that's kind of like my full-on bachelor's degree purpose. And then usually, you know, when you're going to school, they ask you to pick your concentration, which, okay, so we got a Lapras, and, oh, that's weird, though. Look at this. I don't know what's up, but you see how this one is less vibrant than this one? I just noticed that. Anyway, interesting. So we're still missing the Blastoise, and so we're gonna keep going. There must be, or I'd like to believe, but no, darn. Okay, so which one will open Grookey again? But yeah, and so I took 4 of those classes, so 2 comm classes, which is like media and literacy and communication across cultures, which I just took because, you know, I needed to meet those strands, and I think like humanities or something or another. Anyway, so I take those classes out of the fun of it because, you know, I mean, I like to think of things in a way that's got Venusaur. It's okay. Actually, now we're on our way to getting 2 art sets. We have a so like the extras are now the same of Raichu, Charizard, and Venusaur in like almost the same pattern too. And then Sword and Shield wise, what am I missing? Snorlax. We're missing Snorlax. But I guess, yeah, if we look at Sword and Shield alone, we're now 3 Laprases up, because we have that one, and we got 2 extras. And then Zamazenta. So cool. Well, I guess next one, get this one. But yeah, and then I started taking esports management, just for the fun of it, because honestly, I'm like 2 terms from graduation, and so esports, I saved all of my electives, like all my fun classes that I guess was supposed to take in like, you know, my freshman year, but so I'm a non-traditional student, where that means that something must have happened at some point in your educational journey For me specifically, I originally went into education, and then I realized I'm not fit for that, or maybe I am, but at the same time, I was very anxious as a freshman. You know, just graduated high school, and I go to college, and I don't know. I got nervous, and I didn't go to gosh darn. I didn't go to my first class. Or no, I went to my first class, but then I stopped going because, you know, personal stuff, and you make bad decisions as a kid, not kid. You choose different priorities, and that's sort of where that veers off. But then okay, so we still haven't gotten it. We're still here. Boop, boop, ba-doop. So, yeah, and so I don't know. Where was I going with that part? Now I'm here like, wait, why am I saying this? Why am I telling people? So esports. Oh yeah, so I didn't take my fun classes the first year. I was trying to be serious about education, and that didn't pan out. And then when I came back to school, I decided, you know what? I'm gonna be super serious about this next thing that I'm gonna try. And I mean, luckily, I was really, really good at accounting, apparently, or understanding the concepts. Oh, hey, now we got our full playset of the Sword and Shield. So there's that. Darn it! Well, at the same time, it's literally like the best pack to get multiples of. Like, it's the Charizard pack. Who cares? So now we got 2 extra Charizard packs, and we have 2 more mini tins before we start looking at a bigger box. Okay. So we're gonna choose the bunny because I want to, if possible, keep that Galarian Ponyta tin sealed. But anyway, so now I get to take my fun classes because I was all like, future Iridian is gonna be thankful that all she has to do is take like hopefully 2 or 3 fun classes, and then whatever serious class is gonna be like very time consuming. And I am extremely thankful to past Iridian because she decided to bite the bullet on the really tough classes. Yes, we did it. We don't need to open Ponyta. So, but this is also how you know your stuff is legit. You open product to get your stuff, and or we already had these in, like, say, the hanger packs, which I think I have the hanger pack in one of those, but it's like mixed in there. So now this person's gonna get this, and this, but we need to pack them first. So it's gonna, oh, I didn't prep the materials. Darn. But yeah, and so now I get to take esports management, and then I was meeting with my advisor, and she's amazing. And so we're talking about my certificate because at SOU you have the choice of doing your major, but then you have to get a certificate or a minor to graduate. And so at the time, like in 2018, 19, when I came back, the catalog only had, like, there was the cafe one, which was the cafe certificate, which was really for like people who were into marketing, hospitality, and tourism. Which, I mean, it sounded cool, but it's not my dream. Like, my dream isn't to run a super amazing hotel or to work in the world of tourism. It's amazing though. I mean, those people really get to do like incredible things within the local community and like on. And here we'll put Evo times 4 art set. And now we're gonna get into the serious packing stuff. So let's see. We have our bubble mailers, because we're gonna have 2 art sets, or 2 sets to work with. we have our handy dandy styrofoam square. And a bit of styrofoam soft stuff. And a little extra because it never hurts. And you know what? We might need some cardboard just to be, well, no, I think this is enough. We might even be overdoing it, but it'll be fun. And the packs will be safe. And the order people will be happy. So, anyway. So we get to the point where I'm now here and I'm taking the esports and everything's cool because I'm taking the fun class. And I'm taking the fun class while also taking what else am I taking right now? Like a class where I'm learning SQL and stuff because that's important. Okay, so now we take this guy, I put it here, and I used to use a box cutter, then I decided that using the blade directly is actually pretty easy, and it led to having clean lines without added border. Nice. And then we're going to do the same a couple more times so we could have it ready for our next order. And yes, there's little snow, and yes, we end up vacuuming it because it will literally stay in my work area until the end of time because it does not know to disappear. So, yes, and I'm taking like the fun class, and in between I'm taking like the class for SQL, I'm taking a class for, the SQL one includes Tableau as well, which is like this mapping sort of understanding the world around you, to use that one software to make like tables and really cool official stuff like that. Like right now we're going to be doing like a QVC sort of project where we take external data and we turn it into like these tables that show you like, oh yes, shipping time affects the likeliness that a customer will be buying stuff in the future, because you know customer service is important and stuff. So it's like that type of class, and then I'm taking the Access one that I mentioned, and lastly I'm taking the business strategy and policy course, where you know I get to do all the I'm making a fake business, which means I have to figure out my it's basically like the class you take before the business plan, because the business plan is gonna include like almost all of the things that you end up working on in this class. So by the time that you're done with it, you hopefully, if you know you put in the work and all that stuff, you hopefully have like 40% of your business plan already done, which will hopefully save me time next term so that graduation isn't so rough. So yeah, why was I saying all that? Oh yeah, next term now I get to do more fun stuff in the fact that I can, or I will end up taking like my business plan class, which is the one that's required for the capstone and ends with that presentation that is gonna be fun and scary and exciting. But there's that, and I'm gonna take esports ethics to round that part out. And I think my school is actually going to work with me, so I could take another class, which I'm taking in tandem, helping a professor, to meet the requirements of the Creative Careers Bootcamp, which is another class that's required for that minor, for the esports minor. And all of a sudden, with those two classes next term, I'm going to have that entire minor capped out, like just wrapped out. And then see? Everything's all happy. So, and then we have our little slip, which we're not going to show, but we have our little slip, which we include with our package, and a bubble mailer. And so everything's in there with love, and we're gonna throw in the 2 coin designs that were included in the little pin boxes because that's fun. Yeah, I think that's it. Throw in a code card of a random thing, and I think that's it. Yeah. Let me take off the sticky, wrap around, boop, boop. So then we get left with something like this, where it's like if this gets, you know, boop, 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 it has the layer of styrofoam to keep the packs safe. And then after this, all we gotta do is put on their address and stuff. So if you're watching this, Mr. Eric, I hope you like it. I hope you're happy. But yeah, so not free, but also not intended to have been worked on minor that I'm gonna get to graduate. So now I'm gonna be the accountant major, bachelor's degree in that, certificate degree in accounting information systems, with a minor in esports management, which is just fun because, you know, I feel like originally I was gonna graduate and then I was gonna feel like, yeah, you spent all this time doing this professional thing for a professional degree, which is gonna be great, which, you know, what's the purpose of coming back and trying to get back on to do all that? But now we have all this. Boop, boop, boop. And that's fair. It's you know, I think a lot of people have that as a dream or as a career thing that they look forward to themselves. But somehow, you know, because my career is also currently on track to work for a company that, I mean, yeah, I'm interested in what it's about, but I wouldn't say it's my passion, you know? And the thing I like to do, and I think most of the community can agree to as well. Oh geez, it took me 22 minutes to wrap one order thing. So we're gonna do this one a little faster. Luckily we don't have to open anything, we just have to get it from the Ultra Pro thingy-mabob in front of me, and luckily we already have Necrozma, Duskwing. Oh, I could just take the Giratina from the thing, and I'll replace it with this Duskwing Necrozma that I just got. And there we go. We're gonna have Giratina, Leafeon, Dawn Wings, and Duskmane. And we're gonna get that. By the way, these are like the graded sleeve holders, but they're perfect for like 4 packs of packs. And so I like using them for that specific reason. So then we have this, and just because we're thorough, I don't know, honestly I just like doing it. 4X Ultra Prism, smiley face. Don't know if you can see that. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Anyway, but I don't know, I feel like now I'm graduating with a bit of extra happiness that I wouldn't have otherwise, because I'm graduating with a minor that, while I think like if I told my mom, she would think like, you spent all this time in school to get that, but it's like, I didn't. I got it on accident. But now I'm happy I did, because even though maybe I don't get a job in gaming, I kind of got a degree in it. I mean, it's a minor, so it's not a major. It's not like I did the coding work and the data, like, you know, the artsy part of the gaming. Like, there are so many people, like, in this esports gaming class that are, like, art majors, and they're creative types that they see things in this magical way that I guess I don't really always see, because I mean, as an accountant, I like the numbers. I like it when things make sense. I like it when things are clear cut and there's no friffy frothy. There's just, the world makes sense. And if there's an error, then the error happens somewhere, and you will find it, because all errors have a source, all errors have a signature of some kind, and all can be good in the world again. And maybe that is partly the whole I just need order to things, but I'm grateful for the people who can make all the pretty things happen, because without them, I don't get to have a job where I get to sell Pokemon cards, you know? Because that's what happened. Someone got a degree somewhere. Well, actually, I forgot his name. But, like, the creator of Pokemon, who, as it turns out, is autistic, and, you know, he made this entire game. And now it gets to help other people. And then it gave jobs to artists and creative types that made the video games. And... no! Darn! Okay, I'll cover their name. But I forgot to include their invoice. And this is where we get to do the roly-poly, which is I roll their invoice up, and there's usually a little slit right there, bigger one on this side, so I'm gonna use that one. And I'm gonna do this, and then I'm gonna turn the invoice until I feel that it is inside. Okay. Okay, so it's in there now. Ha ha. Ha. Where's their address? There it is. Haha. Okay. But yeah, and so, I don't know. You gotta be grateful for everyone who does their part, because, you know, whether they're creative, or they're number people, or they're, like, super great at, like, designing things and, you know, making the buildings, and like, I did not know how much goes into civil engineering, and I just found out because, you know, I made a friend this summer, and, you know, he was going on about his career, and how apparently there's not, like, you know, in accounting there's a CPA, which, anyways, now we have this, and, you know, information aside, we have the front, and they'll put the tracking number on it when we go to the post office. But there's, like, I forgot already, but, like, different classes of engineer, and then there's, like, the master, or the something or another type of we forgot to wrap it. I mean, I think we did okay still, but I really like to add that wrapping layer usually. And it's empty, so we'll have to put that pony to tin on its own somewhere. But now we have one of these folder boxes, which will actually be great for Christmas, because it makes whoever buys the, maybe I make a 300 lot, pack it in that box, and then the kids have, like, all those tins to work with. But yeah, I don't know. Okay, so we're 2 orders in. There's 6 more, but these should hopefully be faster, and I'll actually get to kind of focusing on them. And that's where we get our big box of cards. Servine is our first one. We'll get our Watsy cards out of the way. And this is where I wish I was better at organizing cards. So Servine, McDonald's promo, near mint. I finally found my binder, like my personal binder that I swear hides in this room sometimes. And I finally put in my, you know, the triple birds that I got with my friend the other day. And I added it to its rightful little corner in the binder. But I also pulled out one of my favorite cards, and it's not just, okay, there it is. It's not just my favorite because, you know, random reason of some kind. It's actually the first full art trainer I ever pulled. And that's Bianca. I did not get her at the pre-release. She is, I don't know if it'll show it necessarily, but it's definitely, it looks lightly played. It's less than that though. You could tell from the, I've changed its sleeves countless times. I've moved it from binder to binder. Moved something here. Moved it from binder to binder. I've had it in a top loader once. I've moved it to, basically with all of the movement involved, the card is no longer in like the best condition it once was, and I never even really played with it. I really just like put it away. But with so many changes, eventually you get all the scuffs and like the dirt that eventually builds up over time. But there's that Servine. Okay, we're gonna make these quicker. We're gonna do this. We're gonna, and I even tried to speed the process up by like prepping their invoices and all this stuff, and so we didn't have to do the cutting of them. So we get to this point, do this, get it in its envelope, close the envelope, tape the bottom. But Bianca was like the first full art that I got that I was actually like super happy that I pulled. Like, it wasn't a card that I ended up buying like I did later on, you know, because you realize that pulls are pretty hard to get, especially like the specific card you want. And you know, over time Pokemon also did the whole we're making sets bigger, and all of a sudden, even though these cards are like printed to oblivion, and so if you buy them online, yes, you're getting them for super cheap because there's no reason for them to be super expensive, which is also why you end up seeing a lot of really good cards like that secret rare Pikachu full art. I forgot what set it was from. I think it's Crown Zenith. But that card, like, I saw it the other day on TCG Player for like $10, and it's like, this card would otherwise be known as like a secret rare. It should be super hard to get machinable, but with so many people opening packs, it's like, yes, it could be hard to pull. I'll just move this. Oh yeah, so Michael, your card is on the way, or it's gonna be on the way after I leave it at the post office. Okay, the next guy, League Championship cards, Lightning Energy. Okay, there's one. Choose three. Yeah. Oh, and then the other day, in class, I was also told I need to learn to be more concise, which the essence of these videos does tend to teach me, because I can either ramble, like, even if I know what I'm talking about, so like, I could tell you about the whole thing about packing Pokemon cards, which to me it's gotten to the rhythm where it's like, I have this, and I do this, and you know, I have a system at this point where it's like, yeah, I have the cards, put them in the top loader, put the top loader inside of a team bag. Within the team bag, you know, you do that. You wrap the team bag inside of the invoice. From the invoice portion, you end up putting that within a card or an envelope, like straight out. I just like to involve a card of some kind, or that added bit to the process, because if anything were to happen where it's like the top loaders get hit, they can't get hit directly because they have this border within the envelope. And I just think that's better customer service, because at the end of the day, you know, the people buying from you, I think, would appreciate you going the little bit extra, even if, you know, at some point I will run out of these cards. I just ended up buying them all from my old job when I used to work at Big Lots, and we used to have like this clearance because Hallmark was no longer selling with them, and so I ended up getting like a bunch of the 20 packs and 10 packs or however many cards there were, for like 50 cents a piece. And then I thought, you know, using them to pack, it makes some stuff safe, it helps keep people happy, and plus, since I don't write on it, you get a free card. I don't know, you know, to me it works. But I could do that entire process, and I think that was as concise as it could be. I told you the essentials, a bit of a story. Machinable, non-machinable, and honestly, it ends up being chicken scratch, but I think they know what I mean. But we have that. How many more? Like 4 more. Cool. I mean, we're moving. Base set to computer search for Dylan. Now these are luckily in order, the WotC stuff at least. But yeah, and then in other areas, like I'm going on about the industry analysis, which I did a video on this channel for, just so I could get like a general idea of what I should be saying, what the industry consists of. But then in class she mentions the fact that we shouldn't be so specific to what we're trying to talk about, and I'm here like, gee, I thought this entire thing was supposed to be specific. But then I'm also realizing, actually just now, that we're talking about an industry. We're not talking about the individual business. We're not talking about what Pokemon might specifically be selling on their day-to-day, or for, you know, 2022's last quarter, or why they bought Millennium Printers. And so as far as that goes, I get it. I do ramble. I do go on for a while, because there's so much that adds context to why, say, a business, okay, so like Pokemon as a brand, and technically the entire industry of hobbies and toys, spiked during 2021, 2022, and late 2020. But it's only recorded as late 2020 because businesses have to make their sales, and then at some point they reach a point where they're adding, you know, their revenues and, you know, how much they were selling during a specific quarter at the end of that quarter, and then those items get released, and so you don't see the effect of the sales until a quarter after, in my experience. And so I'm here explaining how the industry itself, you know, it might have suffered, or it looks like it's suffering for a little bit, because there were downtrends after 2021, and I wrote it too. Non-machinable. I wrote a 2 on it. But yeah, and so I'm here justifying or explaining why there was this uptrend in the middle of the pandemic, and how, yes, like it spiked, say late 2020, I think. And then after that, it was steadily going down, but I think about 2% continuously from there. And so this spike that literally went up like 38% in revenues, and like 16 or 14% in like profit margins or stuff, because it literally peaked, and it was literally peaking because people were allowed to charge as much as they wanted during this time, and the people who wanted this stuff were willing to pay for it, because It's like the sale of the PS5, which also falls under games, and I think under electronic systems within games. So that there's so much that you need to consider to then give out this like honest review on the industry, because you can't encapsulate like trading card games to Barbie dolls. They're gonna have different seasonality. So when are people gonna buy Barbie dolls more than any other point in the year? They're most likely gonna buy them during Q4, just like the article said, because it's Christmas, and you buy the Barbies and you buy the bears and you buy the toys that kids want. But it's not until that point in time. So I just wanted to keep that in mind when I was explaining. And so in all of that, we eventually got to the point of, hey, you should try to be a little more concise with your information giving, because while this is important, because she acknowledged, like, yes, this is important for this particular part of the industry, it doesn't apply to the whole. And sometimes looking at the whole of it is more important, especially during the industry analysis specifically, than explaining the niche market underneath that I will be exploring, because that should be explored in the rest of the document, like in another section, which I'm going to be working on at some point. I just don't know when. I know I sold this, so I'm going to put it to the side. But I'm getting a Grapple-Lock V. I don't even know what this looks like, but I'll find it. But that's basically the gist of what's been going on in that class, and things I'm trying to maneuver in my brain to like give Pokemon its honest due, because my business, to reiterate, is gonna be a TCG store located in Medford, Oregon, and we will sell items from Pokemon to Magic the Gathering, as well as a few others, which haven't really been settled, but most likely I'm just going to be doing Pokemon, Magic the Gathering, and then accessories for Dungeons and Dragons, because it just seems easier to handle like the idea of like Hasbro making their moves with them owning Magic the Gathering and whatnot, than trying to do something else, because I can't really speak to like Force of Will. I can't really speak to Yu-Gi-Oh! I mean, I played it when I was a kid, but that doesn't mean anything to anyone who might want to provide a quality experience for a consumer. Like, if you went to your local store and you're asking about, I don't even know how to propose a question, but if, in Pokemon terms, I was asking, hey, do you know anything about the current meta, and do you know if you have any, trainer decks that might be helpful for a kid such age? This is their skill level, maybe they don't have a skill level, and so you have to help them out a little bit more. There's at least that better understanding where I'd be able to be like, yeah, I actually know how to help you, and jump in and, actually, I don't know, be able to talk to the person as a person and understand them like completely, and get to the point of being like, hey, yeah, like, you know what, why don't you come to League on this day it's not very competitive, you'll get to see a lot of other decks around that range, and then figure stuff out. There it is, you gosh darn full art. And it's easier to speak to that. It's easier to speak to someone who's like, hey, I'm just starting a collection, what do you think I should get? And it's like, okay, well, are you looking to just collect like for pretty cards, or are you trying to collect for a more like serious collection? What's your price range? What's your favorite Pokemon even? Because it's like, if you like Charizard, I'm not gonna tell you to buy Rebel Clash. That would be like why? Like, maybe they pull a Ninetales from the set, and it's like, oh cool, a fire Pokemon, but it's not the card they want, and it's not a set that would provide anything that they would be super interested in. Instead, what this set might do, and granted, this might be overthinking things a bit, but to know the consumer is to know the fact that if something doesn't necessarily turn out your way, you have less of an incentive to follow it, and that might be very precocious, that might be very, like, oh, that person's just too picky, but it's really not. They know what they want at the end of the day, I think. And our job as people who are selling, people who want to start a store, is to be able to provide whatever it is that they're looking for in a way that's honest with them, in a way that's like encouraging and I think, like, you know, feeds into the whole people come into their hobbies because it makes them happy, and it's because, you know, maybe they had a good time with it when they were a kid, maybe they had a good time with it just learning among friends, but if you can recognize that and be like, hey, yeah, you want to play with your friends, let me get you a trainer deck that might work for you, or do you know what type of deck you've been liking when you've been playing with them, what you like, psychic, dark, this or that, or maybe you don't want to play seriously at all and you just want to make a deck of Chatot. That's dumb, but it's possible, and I can make that happen because that's my job, and I'd like to do that one day. So there's two more left, and geez, we're at an hour almost. Unbroken One, see? Told ya. I knew it was somewhere in the stack. It was like the only card I remembered. Do this, do this. Card. This guy. Hold it. But I think what's most fun right now, at least while I'm packing it, is that I get to know that these cards get to go to a place where I think they're going to make someone happy. Or at least that's what I like to think. And for the cards that haven't found a home yet, they're still there to potentially help make someone's day, you know? Like, I know that when someone buys, like, I think a $5 order, but you can tell, like, the big cards that they got. Like, maybe they bought a few WotC cards, that were, like, $3, and they could buy another one for $4, and then they're just trying to make up the change, and so they'll literally look for, like, a present day promo that they just like, and they just add it on, just to make sure that, you know, TCG Player doesn't add them that extra shipping. I think that's what they do. For orders under $5, they add an extra $1 for shipping that you as a buyer have to pay. And so when I see the orders that meet that $5 mark at the end of the day, I'm almost certain that it's like, yeah, you tried to save on shipping, and instead of being like, oh, it's really, it's nice to the point that it's like, you bought this much because you'd rather get the cards and, you know, have something to enjoy than pay for shipping, and that, I think, is a reflection of people's importance in their time, because, you know, you spend your time to make money, and then you use the money, which is your time, for the things you enjoy, hopefully. Granted, also for shelter and the basic things in life. Altaria. Just regular? Yes, just regular. And then we'll start putting the cards away because I don't think there's anything left. Put those there. And we'll get these and look through them and then put the rest of them back. Alright, we're down to our last order, and I have no clue what I talked about, but I always have fun in these videos, and I don't know why necessarily. Like, it might just be my brain bouncing in different directions and having no general sense of what's going on, but it's also because I get to talk about something that I love and that makes me happy, and that I do have a dream to accomplish one day. Despite being an accountant by day, it's what makes me happy. It's what makes the days fuller, in a way. Worrisome. I don't know where this Saltaria is. So if it were to be somewhere. Oops. Where would it be? I'll give this a once over again, just to be sure. But otherwise, I think I might have to pack this one on my own time. Just to keep from the video from, I guess, going into an hour. But yeah. I think it'll at least look good when I get the entirety of my presentation together, and diverge from looking at an individual niche and actually look at the whole, because the next step of the project, there you are, the next step of the project is actually to look into the competitive analysis of the locality where I'm at, and I've already explored a part of it in a prior video as well, but it was, well, one cut off, and second, not fully dug into, because there is a new store that I have yet to go to. I keep telling myself, you're gonna go to this store on this day, you're gonna make the time because it's important. I still haven't. But to be fair, I really don't have an excuse. I've really just been working towards graduation and trying to talk to the right people, because I have to take certain classes, and apparently one class wasn't available, and so I'm trying to dig into what I need to do in my real life, to make sure that I can do the walking and talking. Well, not the talking. I let my grades slip at some point last year, so I will be happy walking through knowing that I worked my to get at least a 3.25, which is a respectable GPA, I think, especially for an accountant, because those classes get rough. Like, I have never had any classes challenge me more, non-machinable, at that level. Like, I literally am having an easier time doing advanced database systems, which is the SQL Tableau course, than I could ever have in like half a term of cost accounting, which cost accounting is what I'm taking again, because I had a harsh time the term prior when I took it. So I got the go-ahead from one of my professors that's gonna allow me to do that, and we're done. And then hopefully by the very end of all this, I'm gonna be a person with a bachelor's degree and an esports minor on that degree, and an accounting information systems attached to that, because I'm gonna do a triple toppy pizza on that. But have a beautiful day, guys. I'm sorry this took so long, and I hope that you were okay with the whole rambles and opening all these random tins. But have a beautiful day, be safe, take care, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.